Subscribe to Smartphone Tutorials by clicking on the subscribe button, and do remember to click on the notification bell icon to get instant notifications.
Hello awesome people, welcome to Smartphone Tutorials. Today we're going to talk about something very different, something that 2017 has been all about. We are coming towards the end of 2017, we are in the month of December, and some amazing things happened to the smartphone industry this year. We're going to look at the top 20 smartphones of 2017. Now the reason we are going to look at top 20 smartphones is because the list that we're going to look at is not like some ordinary list in which just the top 5 or top 10 phones are included. We're going to include phones from all over the globe, be it a Chinese flagship or be it from somewhere else. Now, the first 15 phones that we're going to talk about are just going to be honorable mentions. They are not going to be in a particular order. It's just that those phones were great but didn't make it to the top 5. So, the top 5 phones will be the ones which absolutely nailed it in 2017. Hello awesome people, welcome to Smartphone Tutorials. Let's begin. So the first phone on the list obviously is the Meizu 7 Pro Plus. I really love the innovation on this device. The second screen on the back does an amazing job when you wish to take selfies with those dual cameras. It's a pity that it didn't really get a lot of support from third-party application developers, but the overall build quality and the value for money proposition for this phone is really good. Now the next phone, number 19 that we're going to talk about, is the Oukitel 10000. Now this phone comes with a 10,000 mAh battery, which is like more than 3 times of what 2017 flagships have been doing. It comes with a decent specifications when it comes to hardware, but then again, because of the huge battery, it really goes on the bulky side. Now a lot of you would be surprised that the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 makes it to the 18th position in this particular list. Now I absolutely love that phone. It's a gorgeous phone, gorgeous display, but the reason it doesn't make it to the top 5 is because of the poor battery life. Now a screen which is above 6 inches and 3300 milliamperes, it barely made it throughout the day for me when I was using it for a week. Apart from that, I didn't find myself using the S Pen too much, and apart from all these things, even if we consider the Galaxy Note 8 as a worthy competitor, well, the price tag of $1,000 doesn't really make for the price to performance or price to features ratio. Next up on the list is the Xiaomi Mi Mix 2. Now when this phone was announced, and especially when it was announced that it is going to come to India officially, I was really excited because the Mi Mix in 2016 set the benchmark, set the trend for bezel-less displays, one of the first phones to have around 90% of screen to body ratio. That is what changed with the Mi Mix 2 and somewhat came as a downer. Now, opposed to the predecessor, it comes with a 83% screens to body ratio, and at the same time in 2017, competitors have caught up really well. You also have a lot of budget propositions from Chinese manufacturers which offer a lot of bezel-less display for a not so high price. Another surprise addition to the list, on number 16, we have the Apple iPhone X. Now, this is a brilliant device built like a tank. You would have seen a lot of reviews, a scratch test or a drop test, and it survived most of them. But the price again, it's around 89,000 rupees for the 64GB variant, and 256 is around 102,000 rupees or 1,02,000 rupees. Now, apart from that, this is a major shift for Apple users or any phone user for that matter, because the iPhone X is a complete gesture-based system. Now, I understand and agree that this was done for innovation, this was done to make our lives more easy, but it goes the other way around. If you would use the iPhone X for a day or two like I did, you would find that you first need to learn the whole gesture-based system, and then it doesn't really get along that well. Maybe a year down the line, when people are used to the gestures of iPhone X, it would be a thing, but for now it stays at number 16. Now again, on number 15, we have Apple devices, the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 8 Plus. Brilliant devices, but two things is what gets them down. First of all, from the standards of 2017, the whole industry is shifting towards a bezel-less display trend. Now, if you look at the 8 and 8 Plus, it comes between 60 to 63% of screen is to body ratio, which is not really great. So in 2017, you would want those bezels to be shrink, and at the same time, if you look at the battery life on the 8 and 8 Plus, it is not one of the best performing battery lives. That is the reason we have the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus at this location. Now at number 14, we have the amazing LG V30. Now, when I saw this device, when I saw the specifications and the features, it felt like a complete device, and finally LG has nailed it. With the quad DAC, you have one of the best audio experiences that a smartphone can offer in 2017. At the same time, the OLED display and several reports of inconsistent brightness is really a letdown. That is the reason we see the LG V30 at this particular spot. Nonetheless, it's a wonderful device. So next we have the Nokia 8, a phone which feels good to hold, a pleasant display, somewhat a good camera, but then again somehow with the comeback, Nokia didn't nail it. The battery life is not that great. The form factor, again, talking about the bezels, they are huge, and the whole experience, it doesn't make you feel like a flagship. For that matter, if you look at the OnePlus 5 and compare it to the Nokia 8, it really beats the Nokia 8 in almost all the segments, including the camera, the software, and the hardware field. Now the next phone on the list is the Doogee Mix. Now this is a very, very interesting phone which created a lot of hype in the media. With a 5.5-inch display and 6GB of RAM for around $150. It's a brilliant device. But then again, when you get it in your hand and you start using it for maybe a day or two, you will notice that the battery life is a letdown and the software experience is not the best. Apart from that, for the price, it's a brilliant addition to the list of Chinese flagships which will allow you to enjoy the best of both worlds. Next up, we have the Umi Digi S2. Now this is a 6-inch device, comes with a 5100 mAh battery and probably the best specifications you can buy. And what you will love the most in this particular phone, though being a Chinese smartphone, it has the best build quality, gorgeous looks, a dual camera setup that actually works unlike the Doogee Mix 2. And a lot of other things which actually make for a perfect flagship. But then again, there are some things that really don't go right, and one of them being the global availability and the software update in question. Next up, we have the Huawei P10 with dual cameras, a diamond cut finish which not only looks good but gives you a good feel in the hand, and surprisingly it doesn't attract a lot of fingerprints, and with a 5.1-inch display it has a very, very compact form factor. So if you're looking for a flagship from 2017 which is not touting one of those 5.5 or 6-inch displays and doesn't cost you a lot, Huawei P10 is the phone you should be looking at. Next up, on number 10, we have a very, very exciting entry, which is the Razer phone. Now this is a device which is the first phone by a manufacturer who manufactures gaming peripherals. Now this phone is aimed at gaming, of course, has a solid build quality, comes with front-firing speakers, and one of the first 120Hz display which is butter smooth. It has a lot of things going for it, but then again, as this is a gaming centric device, the form factor, it's a boxy form factor. It feels very robust and sturdy, but then again doesn't look more premium, and at the same time the camera is a letdown, which I believe Razer should fix it with a software update. With that said, let's look at the next device on the cards. Next up on the list is OnePlus 5. Global availability, built with fans in mind, a dual camera setup, and almost everything going right for it except those bezels, as that has been the case with most critics, most phone critics, and most people looking to buy a 2017-ish smartphone. Now, it comes with the Snapdragon 835 processor, probably the fastest and the fluidest Android experience. But then again, it doesn't really get the job done when it comes to those cameras and a few more things. There's a lot to love about the OnePlus 5, but there are a few reasons, including the design, because of which it didn't make to the top 5. Now at number 8 and number 7, we're going to talk about the Xiaomi Mi 6 and the Mi Note 3. Two wonderful devices, identical looks, and very, very powerful processors. One is a mid-range processor with the 600 series, and the other one, the Mi 6, comes with the 800 series processor. Now these phones are good bang for buck, though not available in India. Even if you import them, you have a very fluid experience. But at the same time, if you look at international availability or as a global customer, that is what we are looking at today, because the list includes the phones from around the world. Depending on where you buy this phone at, the Mi 6 or the Mi Note 3 might come with a Chinese UI, might come with a smartphone keyboard that is in Chinese. Not the best of experience to cater to your global audience. Let's see what we have at next. Now the next phone, the Elephone S8, though poorly named, it's a wonderful device and almost made it to the top 5. It comes with a 2K display with a Mi Mix-like bezel-less design and has a lot going for it. And with the price of $250, it's really a steal. You should definitely have a look at it if you're looking to import one of the best phones from China and don't want to spend like $500 to $700. For $250, the Elephone S8 is definitely worth a look, and it has you covered on a lot of aspects. Now talking about the interesting top 5, in 5th place we have the Huawei Mate 10 Pro. Now this is the world's first phone powered by AI, which is able to do a lot of things. For example, when you open the camera and when you're tilting the camera, or depending on the light or the object, it can automatically detect what kind of a surface or what kind of an object you're shooting at, and it can recommend the best possible camera settings. Not only that, this is one of the first phones which is completely powered by AI. It'll get adapted to your usage patterns, and it'll also defragment itself over a period of time to stay fast. And in addition to that, it has a Leica powered dual cameras, which gives you the best of both worlds and has a really good battery life and amazing construction. The number 4, of course, it has to be one Samsung in the top 5, right? So that's the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. Yes, the S8 didn't make it through here, the Note 8 didn't, but the S8 Plus did. It gets you the best of both worlds. You can save a few $100s when it comes to comparing to the Note 8. Almost the same software experience if you don't need the dual cameras and the S Pen maybe. It is water resistant, dust resistant, comes with a premium finish, a glass sandwich design. One of the best cameras in 2017 on a smartphone, and has a lot going for it. With the prices going down for these flagships as the S9 comes near, the S8 Plus is a wonderful proposition and you should definitely have a look at it. Next up, a surprise entry from China. We have the Le Echo LES3. Now, this is just a $100 phone. Yes, a $100 phone. A HD display, a deca-core processor, good battery life, and a good camera as well. That too just for $100. Now don't expect flagship level performance from this device, but for the money that you're paying, you are getting a lot of phone. Let's see what we have next. Now, up at number 2, we have the Google Pixel XL. Now this has been one of the more controversial devices when it comes to 2017, because it has had a lot of issues when it comes to the screen quality and a few other things, but Google is catering to the customers and they seem to be fixed. In my experience, when I used the Google Pixel 2 XL, it was fluid. It has that always listening feature wherein it will recognize the music in your ambient surroundings. It has a software experience the way Google wants you to experience it. Obviously, you'll be getting updates for the next 2 to 3 years, and has probably the most fluidest Android experience ever. So if you're an Android purist, you can definitely go ahead and look at the Google Pixel 2 XL. Now at the top of the chain in 2017, surprisingly, we have the phone from which this video is getting recorded right now. You guessed it right, the OnePlus 5T. It came about say 10 or 15 days back, but then again, all the shortcomings of the OnePlus 5, OnePlus listened to its fans and they decided to act on it as soon as possible. Well, it might be a controversial topic, but they gave us the best of both worlds. They gave us a face scanner which cannot be fooled by a photo without the expensive hardware like the one on the iPhone X. Apart from that, it has a full bezel-less display, almost a very good screen to body ratio, dual cameras which are targeted at better low light photography, And in my usage, I've been using it since 21st of November. It's been around 10 to 15 days. Well, the battery life is brilliant. It charges really fast, and the best part is, the reason it made to the top of the list is you get everything that a 70 or 80,000 rupees or maybe $1,000 Android phone would offer in half the price. That's $500. So that is the list for you guys, the top 20 list. How did you like the video? Please share everything in the comment section. It was a pleasure talking to you guys. A lot of videos are lined up for the Pixel 2 XL and a lot of flagship devices. So stay tuned. And don't forget to look at the description box below. There is a giveaway contest going on. There are 2 prizes to be won. A My In-Ear Pro headset. At the same time, there is 1 surprise winner. Thank you very much for watching the video, guys. Do like, share, and if you haven't already, subscribe. It's free. Take care.